Elayne Lansford's Bottle World is a tribute to triumph over life-threatening illness and the power of healing through gardening. Reframing her reality by giving new life to old objects helped her when husband John Villanacci faced a random disease and lung transplant soon after she recovered from breast cancer. It was a twist for Elayne, a psychologist who helps clients every day. When she built a secondary office near the Bottle World, they can travel her path of serenity through rebirth.
I love being in the country, I love being outside, I love having a garden, and I thought that it would be a kind of a wonderful compromise to have a little office out here where I could at least see some of my clients.
Her certified backyard habitat started closer to the house on land that had belonged to her grandmother.
And I didn't really start out with any grand plans, they just evolved over time. The area here is more the entertaining area. I have a little tiny house with not a lot of room, so if I have parties, I always have garden parties.
Later, they added a pond.
The sound of water is such an amazing and wonderful thing. And our style was, much more to think of something like a pond than we weren't pool people. And also the wildlife can make use of it. And the pavilion came when I had gone on a trip to Bali and saw that all the Balinese people spent most of their time in these beautiful pavilions outside of their houses.
She enclosed little nooks to view the wild field beyond the tamed garden, where 70-year-old agaves stand out against native wildflowers she planted. During her cancer treatment, Elayne carved out a meditative cove inspired by one created by author and designer Jill Noakes in her home garden.
I wanted the idea of something that was circular and very quiet and ultimately would be surrounded by some kind of greenery. I had the garden at that time, or had parts of it, but what I found is that it was so important in being able to help me heal. If I could come out here and work and be outside, it just, in some way, it helped me to be able to go on and to get better.
During Elayne's recovery, John built her the first bottle tree on the path to the field, a symbolic transition from control to what is sometimes beyond our control.
I'd seen one when I was young, and it was one of those things that I always wanted to have. It kind of became the energy center of the garden. The other thing that, though this certainly wasn't something in the forefront of my consciousness, but originally bottle trees came from Africa, and bottles were put on stakes in Africa to catch evil spirits and keep them away from people's houses. So there is a possibility that at some level, if there were lots of bottles out there, they might keep some of the bad energy away from the house.
Later, she saw a bedspring arbor that drafted a new idea. To help her through John's illness, a friend erected one for her to bottle with elegance. Elayne has always found creative ways to recycle, like this abandoned satellite dish she found.
I think it started because I have always loved industrial objects that seem beautiful somehow. So I liked getting weird industrial objects that had beautiful shapes. And something about the glass just appeared to complement them. They all seem to go together. And it's sort of contagious. Once one starts doing one thing, then other possibilities start coming up. They come from all sorts of places. I grew up on a farm that had been around since the 1880s, so there was a huge abundance of old farm equipment that was just laying around, and I probably got my sense of the industrial aesthetic from the old equipment.
An uncle recalled that a windmill at the family farm had blown off in the tornado of 1961. They rescued it from overgrown cedar trees and restored it to stature. At first, friends welded Elayne's structures for her, but she wanted to be totally immersed in the creative process.
I love to do things with my hands, and I guess like many people who their main vocation, they use their mind. They want something different to do in their avocation. And one day out in the hill country, I saw that someone had made this particularly elegant bottle tree. And I just loved that bottle tree and thought, if I could learn how to weld, then I could make all the bottle trees that I wanted. So I decided to take a introductory welding course at ACC. And thanks to the fabulous instructors and their enormous patience, I can weld in a very rudimentary way. And basically then it was just a matter of thinking up ideas of things that might look neat and figuring out how to weld them and putting bottles on them. I gathered a lot of bottles by the side of the road. I would just walk up and down the country roads, and every now and then somebody would throw out a really cool bottle, and I'd take it home and wash it and, put it on a stake, and there it was. When the drought was so bad and everything was dry and dying, it was kind of lovely because the bottles were still in bloom. And that's true in the winter, too.
From thrift stores, family, and friends, her collection and ideas keep growing. Elayne removed invasive plants and added natives that support wildlife.
And at some point, the bottle world started being an alternate reality where I could get some comfort since regular reality wasn't so good. But once he got transplanted and we kind of got through all of that, I think it became a place of celebration. And that's when it really began to grow. And I think I kind of worked out some of my sadness and anger and sorrow just by going out and creating more garden. I think we all need refuge, and we all need sanctuary, and we all need peacefulness. And as the world is busier and busier, everybody has the capacity to do that in some little way if they care about gardening. I mean, that's one of the joys of it. And it's available to everybody. It's not something that one has to be wealthy to do.